Hi everyone. Thanks for watching this video. What I'm going to do here is touch on something I haven't gone in depth in, and this is what it was like for me after losing my wife and having to raise my daughter, who was four at the time. I did not want my daughter forgetting her mom, and I knew at the age of four, it's hard to retain memories from that point. So I was looking for ways to preserve my wife's memory. I did refuse to let my daughter forget about my wife. She was too awesome of a mom, too awesome of a person for her to kind of fade out of her memory. So, um, the things I'm about to show you are things that I came up with. Some might be simple and rudimentary. You might think, yeah, okay, that's obvious. Um, Others a little bit more creative. So, hopefully, you can take something from this. If you're grieving and you have a small child at home that's lost a parent or a loved one, or if you know somebody who's grieving and go through it, send them this video because there wasn't a lot out there to help me. I had to figure out a lot on my own, which you'd be surprised, but that's just the way it was. So an obvious one here is going to be photos. Um, instinct, you would think, well, you got to take down the photos. They hurt too much to look at. And I post a whole other video on here on this channel about the grief candle. And you might want to check that out. It talks about keeping the person's memory alive, keeping that candle lit. So when I came home, I didn't just leave the photos up. I also made a new wall here in our living room. I have all these photos here. There are more to the side you can't see in this video, but something that was real tough for me was putting up this word here, thankful, because I did not feel that thankful when I lost my wife. I felt robbed, felt cheated. Um, so it took a little bit to get there, but I do have a lot to be thankful for. All these memories, for starters. I mean, I'm thankful for all of those. I'm thankful for much. The people in my life, my daughter. So, um, if you're wondering about photos, there are lots of companies out there online that'll print them out for you for a real cheap cost. We have thousands of digital photos and videos, so we send them out. Um, Snapfish is a good company that offers a program. It's like $1 a month and you get 100 free prints. You just got to pay the shipping. So that's not bad at all. That's how we stocked up a lot of our printed photos that we use for the previous slides. And also for like this board that's in my daughter's bedroom that we made. My wife made this for my daughter's room before my daughter was born. Um, what I've done since then is I've taken all these photos and I'll switch them out. I'll stick some up and I'll go back into our box and put up some new photos. Um, So these here are things, memories of mom. And what we'll do every so often at night is I'll ask my daughter, "Do you want to talk about one of the mom memories?" And she'll say, "Okay." And we go over to, and she'll point to one of these photos, and she'll be like, "Oh, that one there. That was on my birthday party when I was four, and we went to Great Wolf Lodge." Um, and I'll ask her to tell me a little bit about it. Yeah, so, what do you remember about it? What did we do when we were there? Oh, we went to this and we did that. We did. I'll say, okay, so I record that and I save that video. And the reason I do that is, I'm thinking in 4 years and 8 years, my daughter to be able to go back and not just hear me talk about it, not just have a photo to look at, but now she's got her own narration of what took place that day in that photo. Um, I'm hoping that helps her, keep those memories locked and loaded. So I keep a folder on my computer, and it's her memories, and it's just videos of her talking about different photos. Um, in my own room, set up another shelf dedicated to my wife's educational achievements, her degrees, her diplomas, um, under my daughter's bed. So this bin is all, not all, it's some of my wife's, more favorite clothing, things she'd wear more often than others. Um, if you look at a couple of her photos, guaranteed she's wearing something out of this bin. So that's under my daughter's bed because she likes to sleep with one of Mama's shirts every night. Um, when we travel, she likes to bring a shirt or two with her. So we have that there. Some people, when it comes to the deceased person's belongings, their clothing, especially, there's different trains of thought. How long do I keep it for? What should I do with it? And there's no right answer. There are companies out there that'll turn it all into quilts or stuffed bears and things like that. I opted just we kept it all. Like I took all the clothing, um, put it into totes and bins in my basement, and save for my daughter for when she gets older, so she can pick it up, hold it, feel it, and know this was what Mama wore. And maybe there's stuff in there she's gonna want, but I didn't donate it. It can be donated at any time. There's no rush to donate things, unless you absolutely need the space. Um, I get it. Maybe you're moving, you're downsizing where you live. I understand. But if you can keep it, there's no harm in doing it, in my opinion. So we have that. Holidays, my daughter still wants to put up my wife's holiday stocking. Even our cats. So in the last few years, since my wife's passed, we've lost 3 cats and 2 fish. So even the cats who had stockings, she still wants those up because she wants to remember them. And these are my daughter's words. We still have to, put up their stockings. We still got to remember them. They're still part of the family. Um, so something else that I did. Again, these are Dave and Buster's cards, game cards. Every time you go and you play the games and you earn tickets, you can get something from the game room, the prize from the prize counter. So there are 2 cards here. The pink card on the right was something my wife and I had started back on our first date. We kept adding points to our card, adding points to a card. And this went on for a decade. And when my wife passed, and my daughter and I eventually went back to Dave and Buster's, which was tough. But again, part of keeping that person's candle lit, the memory alive, is doing the things that brought joy to them, um, and allowing it to bring joy to you, not pulling up the blanket over your head and trying to hide from it. So we go to David Buster's now, and the first time we went after my wife passed, I opened up another card, which is the blue card. So my daughter goes and we play games. All the points go on the blue card. And those are the points she earned that she can do what she wants with every visit we go. When there is a milestone event, like the first day of school, birthday, um, she did good at the dentist, whatever it may be, we'll stop by Dave and Buster's and she's allowed to pick out something from the prize room with the points on the pink card. And there's a lot of points on the pink card. And what that signifies is what she's getting that day is from mom and dad. So even though mom's not here physically, those are points and effort that mom put in. That it's there now for my daughter to get a prize. So the gift's coming from both of us. Now, when my wife passed, the week of the funeral was a blur, but a good friend of mine had a couple ideas. And I know it'd be too late for you to go back and do this now, probably if you're watching this video, but um, one was we kept a lock of her hair. The funeral home was able to save us some of her hair and put it in a Ziploc bag type thing. This way, my daughter has that of her because my wife was known for her long curly hair, and my daughter has very similar hair, not as curly, but definitely resembles her mom. So we've got some of that saved. But also something I thought was neat was a suggestion somebody gave me was going to a craft store, getting that clay that you can use and it hardens like a plaster. And the funeral home was able to imprint her hands. So we have those for my daughter. I also had them digitally scan her fingerprints, which I've used those fingerprints to make things like keychains for relatives. Um, they can be used for anything from tattoos, jewelry, you name it. So we have that. And then, you know, the memories, my wife was big into genealogy and found out she was a Mayflower descendant. Now, a place we had never gone to yet with my daughter because she was too young at the time. Since then, I've taken my daughter as Plymouth Plantation. Um, Not a huge interest for me, and for a now 7-year-old, maybe not a huge interest for her just yet. But she knows the significance that mom would have loved it. She knows that these were, mom's ancestors, and uh, that's where it draws some interest. That's where it draws a bond and a connection. So when we go there, her spirit's with us. We also, at the same place, I'm not far from here in Plymouth, there's a Mayflower house, and it's part of the Mayflower Society, and they have a memorial garden where they have bricks, commemorative bricks, and we bought one with my wife's name on it. It's there in their walkway as well. Um, Kind of like along those lines, at the zoo, our family and friends got us this, which was an amazing gift. This is at our favorite zoo that we go to many times a year. As a family, we went there. I can't even tell you how many times. But this is a bench, and it's got my wife's name on it and a little quote. And every time we go to the zoo now, we stop at this bench, we sit, we'll have our snack, or we'll just talk about mom, bring up a memory, and we keep her with us. Um, Something a little bit newer was a message in a bottle. During COVID, especially with lockdown, we were looking for a lot of new outdoor things and came up with this idea of we decorate a bottle, we'd stick a note inside. Now, this one here um, isn't like most of the others. This is a different one. We Most of our notes, what we do is we put a picture of the three of us and we send it out. And it'll be like, this is, our family. We say a little bit about ourselves. We'd love to hear about yours. Feel free to email us and let us know where you found this bottle, and we'll tell you where we sent it from. And that kind of entices the person who finds it to reach out to us. This picture here was sent to me by somebody who found ours. Um, we launched it from Newport, and they found it out in Jamestown over here. Um, so this map here shows the three of the ones that we launched and where they were found. Um, we have two more that are out there right now that I'm still waiting to hear back from. So sometimes they take a while, but so far we've heard back from all of them except the two most recent. All right, and then just a couple more things. What do you do with things like this? It's an eyesore. It's my wife's old office chair. What do you do with this? It's beat up. It's time to throw it out, right? But you don't want to throw out a piece of that person. So how do I use this to help preserve her memory? Well, my daughter, who was going to need a chair, what I did was, instead of going out and trying to find a unicorn chair or a fancy girl's chair, just took the same chair, covered it with some fabric, painted the base, bought a little feather boa from the potty store, glue gunned it on, some pom-poms from the potty store, glue that on, and there you go. So now she knows that she's still using mom's chair. So it might seem like a little extreme, but extreme times sometimes take extreme measures. The last thing, which is probably one of the most important, is the memories. A big fear I have is there are a lot of details, things my daughter will ask me that no one else knows about our family, about things, places we went, that are in my mind, that if something were to happen to me, then those answers, those memories, they go too. And I couldn't shake that. So I also didn't want to forget things that were, important, that were vital to us. So what I did was I started on Facebook a post about things that I miss about my wife. I miss your beautiful smile. I miss your curly hair. I miss your love of New Hampshire. It's things that were specific to her. And what I would do is I would save it, and then maybe a day later, that night, a month later, who knows? As I would think about other things that I missed about her, I would open up that post and edit it and just add them on. And I would just change the date at the top there. I would just change the date saying edited or updated on whatever the date was I was updating it, and update that post. And I would keep doing this. And this went on and on and on to now. If you saw this whole post, it's not even readable. It's so long. But I would do that. Now, you can do that in a lot of different ways. Maybe you don't like technology, you just want to carry a notebook around. You could do that. But another option is using a program like Facebook or Notes. Every phone has like a notepad editor. where you can save notes to yourself. So as these ideas you're driving along, you go, "Oh, I remember when she used to do this," or "I remember this thing that happened that was funny." Write them down because one day you may just those may just slip out of your mind. Now, if you want to use Facebook but you don't want the world to see it, no problem. You edit your post, you click in the upper right part of the post, this box comes up. Click the three little dots, and this will come up, and you'll click Edit Audience. Then just click Only Me. Done. Now, what that does is that blocks everyone from being able to see that post except for you. So you can write whatever you want. You're angry, whatever. You can type something just to get it out, and then you know there you go. You'll have that saved. So I'm going to close up here. Those of you with children, again, there are lots of programs out there. Friends Way, where I live, we have a program, Friends Way, which is catered to families that lost a caregiver, and you have children. So we'd meet there, and it was important for the children to not feel like they were alone. That they weren't because they go to school and all the friends have moms and dads, or they lost a grandparent and they just want to be around other kids that are going through what they're going through. There are programs out there. I will admit there's not a lot of them. So you can Google it, but Friends Way in the Northeast was a great one. But there are options out there for help. Don't feel like you can't be helped. No, that didn't load right, but the suicide prevention hotline is another one. It's 1-800-273-TALK. That's a good option if you are feeling at that point and you need help. Please know you're not alone. There are support groups. There are resources out there to help you get through this. You can get through it, and you will get through it. You may not feel that way, but you will. You'll get there. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this. I love any comments, or more importantly, any ideas or things that have worked for you that you've used. Please share them. You're not sharing them with me, you share them with everyone else that watches this video. So please, this is important stuff. Maybe if you're not going through it yourself right now, may not seem as important, but trust me, for those of us living it, you know what I'm talking about. So thank you again. It's always great to be able to put these things together. So hope it helps. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.